Yo, you know what we should do?
What?
We should just stay in here and then like have the kids open the door and just have the lady come back in. Hey, we're doing a live podcast. Come here and sit down. I'll throw her a mic and she can sit on our bed.
Oh.
And we can just...
Yeah, we're in our room.
I think every job interview should happen at someone's house at like 7 in the morning.
Why is that?
Well, that way you can get really get a sense of how people live, like what they're all about. Instead of like going to somebody's office, like show up at their house at 7 in the morning and interview them for a job.
Okay.
Well, because we're meeting Cal's new therapist this morning.
Oh, this is where you're going.
Yeah, I don't know how that went over your head, really.
I do. A lot of stuff goes over my head.
Yeah, you're the one that's been running around all morning like, there's a new therapist coming, there's a new therapist coming.
Well, I said there was a new speech therapist coming today with our other speech therapist to introduce to Cal. And all the kids were like, no, we don't like a new therapist. And I'm like, this is not even your therapist.
Yeah, but it's somebody in your house and they're in at all these weird different times. You know what I mean? So it is, you do get to, like, these people do see you. It's a little different than, being in an office working with somebody.
Yeah, it's kind of like becomes like a family member in a weird way.
Well, they hear your phone conversations. You're not always dressed like, sometimes like I'll go for a run and come back. I'm in a tank top.
They see every part of our life.
Yeah, like
basically.
You'll get out of a shower, you know what I mean? Kind of run around the house with a towel over you. Like, you know what I mean? It's like they sort of see a lot.
Yeah, and the other kids arguing and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, they see the parenting with the other kids. So it's sort of like, you're eating around them.
Yeah, sometimes I offer them food.
You've made them food before. But even like they're like, hey, could you watch Cal for like a minute? I have to go to the bathroom. It's like, okay.
Yeah, they ask you to watch your own kid.
Yeah, that doesn't really happen in the office. Like usually like if you're not working with people, they're like, hey, I've got to run to the bathroom really bad. I'll be back in a few minutes. You know?
I know.
It's just...
The kids get hooked on people. And I'm like, why do you care so much? And they're like, because we talk to them too. Like Cal's ABA therapist they go on walks with, But Ashley, he's had for 2 years a speech therapist. And I told her that he asked for her a lot. And he says, I love Ashley.
Yeah.
And so yesterday when she left, he said, bye, thank you. Like he appreciates his therapy.
Yeah, and I think it's been his longest running therapist, Ashley.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm actually really sad about it. But I do her hair, so at least I'll get to see her.
It's not like you're never going to see her again, but
I know.
You're right though, he does ask. Like sometimes Lolo, the ABA therapist, will leave and he'll go, okay, bye, Lolo. Okay, come on, Ashley. And I'm like, oh, not today. No Ashley today. And he's like, no, Ashley.
The funniest thing is if somebody else walks into our house, he thinks they're here for him.
Yeah.
Like it's a new therapist.
He grabs their hand and he'll like take him to a part of the room or the house that he wants to play in and grab toys.
Yeah,
and
he's ready to sit down.
Yeah.
And if they have a bag, he's like, what's in your bag? Is it for me?
Yeah.
Because they bring their own toys.
Sometimes a lot of times in the summer when our pool's open, our friends, they live right next door. They'll come over and, we'll just, we'll blast some music. We'll jump in the pool. We'll have some drinks and Cal will grab them by their hand when they come over. I'm like, no, they're here for pool cocktails, Tal. We're not going to do Play-Doh sharks today.
Those are also the ones that he calls grandma and grandpa.
I know.
Because he sees them a lot.
He sees them all the time. This is pretty.
But thinking of speech and the toys that they bring, there's actually a really cool website called Lakeshore Learning, and they have really good learning toys. I don't think they're all for autistic children, but it's for development. And one of the things that his speech therapist used to bring is called a language lotto box. And do you remember those matching toys? And they had like little milk and, you know what I'm talking about? Milk and cookies and toast.
It's like real life stuff.
Yeah, it was when he was learning to talk, like when he was labeling words.
Yep.
So that was a cool little box.
Yeah,
they're not cheap.
What happens if you don't like the therapist?
Oh, if I don't, I give him a couple times, and
a
then
couple. Jeez.
Yeah, this is not like
I give him 40 minutes of my time, and if I don't like them, they're out.
I only give him a couple times because he either connects with them or he doesn't.
Well, and it's about him connecting, not really us. Although I think part of it, though, you do have to have the parental connection too. That has to be part of it because they're here so much.
I do think it does take a little bit of time. Like I said, I only give him a couple times, but like the first time, it's probably a little awkward because you're walking into someone's house.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Put yourself where they are.
Yeah, I
You
couldn't
know,
do it.
Yeah. And, you're dealing with kids that are either really connected or really don't want to be connected. So it is tough. I mean, if you think about them, that's tough, like what they're going through. Although I do think it's really cool that Ashley is coming, kind of doing the introduction, I guess.
It was very nice of her.
Yeah.
I said yesterday, I'm like, so is this person going to call me? And she's like, oh, actually, she's coming with me tomorrow. So that's nice.
It is a she. See, I just assume it's a she. Isn't that weird?
I do too.
Yeah, watch
Yeah.
some dude show up.
I don't know.
Why
But-
not? Hey, if you're good, what do I care, right?
But it is.
we
there,
do assume.
there are more females.
Yes, it's always the assumption that it's going to be a woman that shows up.
And
to
it
be a
really shouldn't
therapist.
be like that.
Hey, like we said, this is just the way this is just, we're not pretending to be people we aren't. We made assumptions, and so
Yeah,
that's the way
exactly.
it is. Yeah, and so good. A dude shows up and he's amazing. That's great.
Yeah.
What do I care? I mean,
Yeah, it's fine. They'll be here at 7:30.
which is 28 minutes away.
Yeah, so I popped up at 6 o'clock today.
Knowing
I'm
Ashley,
a little bit more awake.
knowing Ashley, she is the consummate professional. They are probably already sitting outside, like having a cup of coffee.
They could be.
She is
She's very good.
very on time, like to a T. Like it's like, every therapist is different. And by the way, it doesn't mean that you have to be, if you're not always on time, you're not a good therapist. That's not the case at all. People got their own lives and things are going on. I don't know that Ashley's ever been more than 1.3 seconds late.
I know.
Yeah.
And it's maybe happened twice
Right.
in 2 years.
Yeah. And has never left 1.3 seconds beyond the time she's supposed to stay. I mean, it's like the time's
I
up
know,
and
she's
she's
great.
out. No, she's really good. Like,
But they have to drive all over town. That's why she's no longer going to be here.
Yeah, and the other thing too is it's not like normal stop-start times, because a lot of things are going on in these sessions that are so unpredictable. So it's not like you can just, it's not like running a Dunkin' Donuts. Hey, it's 6 o'clock at night. Hit the close sign. Hit the off button. You know what I mean? If
Yeah.
you know about special needs kids and the spectrum, it doesn't work like that. There are times where it's like, all right, hey, today's session's over. We're going to clean up or we're going to do this and I'm going to leave. Sometimes they're like, no, we're not. Like, we're not ending it right now.
Right.
Like,
exactly.
I'll fight you.
Especially like ABA.
Yeah, I'll fight you.
I do want to say, so in his sessions, we do not have to sit with him. So they're with him one-on-one. When he was 2 and early on in early steps, I did have to sit through the sessions. At that point in time, he was only having 2 hours a week of therapy. So it's fine. I sat there for 2 hours a week, whatever. Then he was diagnosed. Then it's like adding 15 hours of therapy. And I'm like, there's no way I want to spend 15 hours a week sitting in my living room listening to these people. But guess what? You don't have to, which is fantastic.
Sometimes you get kind of organically brought into a session, which is fine.
Yeah.
Like
no.
if you're making, like this happened to me the other day, I was making him lunch and he really couldn't decide what he wanted. So we made like a separate lunch. And then I went in there and then it turned into, hey, you need to express to daddy why you want or what you want, when you want it, instead of just kind of going, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
but that's actually kind of really good when I think it's not planned, where it's like, oh, now I'm a part of this, but it's good. It's like for a good reason. But yeah, it's not like you have to sit there the entire time and be a part of it. They actually do a great job by planning that you won't be there, so they have enough to do.
Well, and yeah, they bring you in if they want to teach you stuff, which is good. But a lot of people don't want to fit in therapy because they think it's going to take up too much of their life. But if you're able to get in-home therapy, like it actually helps you.
Oh,
like
yeah.
that's when we work out. That's when I cook. That's when I can get laundry done. Like
Yep.
it helps me.
Well, and here's how I look at it, right? It's like the investment factor. If you don't try to do that now, then there's a chance. You talk about taking up too much of your life. There's a chance that in 10 years, if you don't do any therapy, if you don't seek any type of guidance, then in 10 years you will be the therapist.
Oh, yeah.
And it won't be for a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-year-old. It'll be for a 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old.
Well, that's why doing this early intervention, is good because like behavior-wise, he still has, he's always going to have meltdowns and stuff, but like biting his arm, like I can't imagine if we didn't have therapy. You know what I mean? They try to help us through it
Yeah.
because I don't want him to be 15 years old biting his arm. And plus, by the way, like if he starts breaking skin, it's not good.
Yeah,
you know?
and we don't know. We like here's so many things are so unknown. Like it's the abyss of the unknown. We don't know that at 15, biting his arm might be the best case scenario.
Yeah, and a lot of times with these kids, they're mean to other people. Like, so they're violent to the parents and stuff. Luckily with him, I mean, not luckily, but he doesn't hurt other people. He hurts himself, which is bad. I mean, he, like I said, we talked about banging the head, biting his arm, stuff like that. But
that can change. And then he's taken some swings before.
It can change.
It can change. And then, you read a lot on these groups and pages and everything where it's like, oh, I used to have, really good control over my kid, but now he weighs 180 pounds and he's hurting me. He's hurting my husband. He's hurting his brothers and sister. You know what I mean? And that's something that you may not ever be able to fully prevent, but you've got to give it a shot right now. And those are the horrible stories you read about some of these kids as they get older, they turn into adults, and then they start interacting with like the police and law enforcement and stuff, and they don't know.
Well, that's when it gets scary.
That's when it gets scary.
Law enforcement doesn't know.
They don't know. And how would they know? So everyone's trying to do, I think, as good a job as possible as avoiding that, obviously. But yeah, those are some of the stories you hear of, cops are like, hey, we showed up at the scene. This guy's freaking out. He came at us. We had to do this and that. And so you're trying to avoid, those situations as best you can, because it puts everybody in a tough spot. I mean, I've been places where a guy like was melting down. I think I was in a movie theater years ago. I'm trying to remember where I was. A guy was freaking melting down, and there was somebody pleading with like the security guards, like, he'll be okay. We're going to, like she obviously knew, but everybody else was scared, because we didn't know if a person had a gun. We didn't know what was going on.
That is scary.
It is scary. So you just try to do everything you can now to prevent that as best as you can. And sometimes that means meeting a brand new therapist at 7:30 in the morning, which is good. We look terrible. This is awesome because this is how this person's going to see us a lot. You know what I mean?
I do not try to impress anyone that's coming into my house.
Oh, this is the new you, but the old you.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
I do not have makeup on now. They see me in my pajamas if it's super early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way, your pajamas are also what you put on last night at like 4 p.m. and just continued to stay in. Kind of like what I've done as well.
Well, yeah, these are workout pants. I actually slept in long sleeves last night.
Yeah. Oh, this is...
It is cold here.
We're moving, man. Something's weird's going on. Florida should never be this cold. Like, it should never be 50 degrees when you wake up.
Well, Key West is 20 degrees hotter.
That's where we're going. I'm out of here.
The Keys.
I did not sign up for this.
Well, I'm like, I don't know the last time I slept in long sleeves, if ever. I mean, that's like sleeping with socks on.
Ugh, it sounds horrible. Ugh.
I was too cold.
Yeah, it's horrible. But yeah, that's another thing. Where like with this kind of life, it's weird. It's like whatever you're in at 4 p.m. Like usually we're done working out by then, and so we're showered, and then like I think you had to make dinner. I had to take the girls to flag football practice. So whatever you're in, man. That's what you're going to bed in. That's what you're waking up in.
Yeah,
and
I was clean.
This is probably we're clean. But this is probably what we'll be until about 1:00 today. Quick change up for a workout maybe, and then back to it again.
Yep. And then you shower at the end of the day.
It's just the cycle of being a bum, man.
Well, in the summertime, we shower like 3 times a day.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, you walk to your car and you lose 6 pounds. You're drenched in sweat. It's awful.
Well, we were talking about therapy, and after Cal was diagnosed, the developmental pediatrician sees them every like 6 months to a year. And when he was first diagnosed, he mentioned this company called the Play Project, and it's play therapy because he missed steps in playing, and I didn't even know that. You know what I mean?
He doesn't know how to play with some toys.
Yeah, or play by himself.
Yeah, it has to be a group effort. He won't just, like a lot of kids will just go, they'll want to go grab toys and play. He just kind of he never thinks about that.
He's used to playing with his therapist.
With people. He has to be prompted. It has to be kind of a planned thing. See, everything with him is a plan. It's got to be a plan.
Yeah.
And it just, he just won't go grab a toy, and he doesn't have like a favorite toy. I mean, he loves sharks and everything, but it's like a group think, a group effort when he wants to go and play. So.
Right. Bye, Gibbs.
Later, man. Have a great day.
High schooler leaves early.
The high schooler.
Which he hates.
Out. He's out. Yeah, but thank God we've got a friend next door that goes to high school and she drives him. Oh, my God. Can you imagine doing this every morning?
No. That would be awful.
He's
going to be driving soon, though.
And I can't wait for that, by the way. About a year away from that. Year and a half away.
So when the developmental pediatrician says come back 6 months to a year.
By the way, 19 minutes away. I'm just letting you know.
Okay. I literally, you feel like you're like just thrown out there. It's like, okay, he was diagnosed and that's it. Like, I don't see you for a year. Like, this is all by myself.
That's
like,
the doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why. Because that guy's busy.
Well, I know, but it's just like, I mean, who else do I meet with? I don't. I have to plan everything. I mean, I'm the one that has to do all the therapies. It's like, here's your paperwork, figure it out.
Yeah, or not, right?
Or not,
and
but
that's
it's
what
all
happens.
scary. I mean,
that's what happens though, because how many people are like, yeah, I'm done with this. I don't need to do it this way. I'll do it that way, like whatever. And then these people, they get online, and I think they always say like the worst thing is when you're not feeling good, don't go get online.
Yeah.
And it's probably true. Same thing, like once you get the diagnosis, probably don't get online. Because you will see the craziest articles. There's that one person that has to spread their horrible experience with a therapy session or a therapist or an ABA, and not saying that it didn't happen and you shouldn't be able to voice whatever, but when you are then actively trying to talk everybody out of it because of your one experience,
right?
Like
that's not real. It's not fair.
It's not fair. It's not fair.
And you really just have to try it for yourself.
We talked about it yesterday. There's bad plumbers, there's bad personal trainers, there's bad teachers, there's bad lawn guys. You know what I mean? It's like you had this one ABA and maybe it wasn't great, and that's cool, and it's good that you could share that with people. But then when you start advocating, like you going on a mission, like anti-ABA, and I'm all about investigating, like, because I did read things about ABA and how sometimes, depending on the kid, because see, here's what drives me crazy about some of those people. You're assuming that your kid is like everybody else's kid, and that's totally unfair. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like you are actively advocating against a streamlined therapy process because you don't think it worked for your kid, and you start scaring other people.
Yeah, it's not fair.
It's not fair.
And we're not people that are like, it's not fair, but that's what it sounds like.
It's not fair.
We're just like, give it a try. If they recommend that for you. Some people, maybe it's you need more OT or more speech or whatever. Yeah. We have not found an OT that I like, or that works for him.
Maybe some people, the parents do need to be involved in all the sessions. And if you feel like you should be doing it, that's cool too. Find a therapist that wants to do it that way. That's
yeah. Some people want to be more involved in the day-to-day. We have 4 other kids. I can't sit in there forever. But like I said, even though we haven't found the right OT yet, does not mean I'm against OT. Occupational therapy.
No, and
I still think he needs it. I just have to find someone.
Yeah, and you've told some therapists to pound sand before. This
isn't working.
You've said, hey, this just isn't working. We've given it time. Thanks, but no thanks. And they're like, okay, they get it.
Well,
they're like, okay.
He did have an OT, and I'm like, every time she comes, I called her boss. He's crying. Like, this isn't fun.
Yeah.
Like, she just wasn't engaged enough for him. And with him, like, he can't have this quiet, shy person.
No.
Which, like I said, when you're coming into someone's house, it probably is a little intimidating, but he needs someone that's going to take charge, kind of be like the alpha.
He's the autism alpha, but sometimes he tests you and he pretends and he wants to see what you're going to do. There is some testing going on.
He can't handle a weak person.
Right. He kind of sets the trap and he wants to see what you're going to do about it, but you have to know it that way. But that doesn't mean that those other therapists aren't
good. They're just not good for him.
Yeah, the way they do it connects with a lot of their kids, and so that works, and that's great. But like we've been saying forever, it's not a one size fits all. This is just a big dart contest today. This woman's going to show up in 15 minutes, and we're just going to have to see how it goes. It's a scratch off ticket. You don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, you don't know.
And she knows showing up. This could be her last time here, or this could be the beginning of her being here for 10 or 15 years and one of his best friends in life. I mean, it really is like. You don't know what you're getting. And a lot of people who right now are getting up, getting in the shower, drinking coffee, going to work, to have a real typical day at work. Cal I think he's up rolling around in his bed and is going to meet somebody that could either be very influential in his life or maybe like, I just don't want this person around me for whatever reason. But,
well, the craziest thing is this is going to throw him for a loop this morning, which I don't know is a good one.
No, it's Ashley plus
an
one.
extra person showing up.
It's Ashley plus one, and it's never been Ashley plus one. And then, because this is the last time she's here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then next time, but it is so cool that she's doing it this way, because at least.
And she's like that.
Yeah.
She's very nice.
Well,
she
cares. I think
bad.
she cares. Like she cares. This is, I think she just kind of cares. So that's great. And I think maybe too, the other thing is when she leaves, she will be, I think, open with this person about, hey, I can just tell you from my years with him, this would work, this would not work, this would take time, this would probably happen naturally, quick. You know what I mean? So,
Well, and like you have to take charge. The crazy thing is, though, she's been with us for 2 years. So she's been with us since Cal was only saying 5 words and labeling things. Before he would just label things.
yep.
Like apple, banana, like that. Now he's saying 3 to 4 word sentences. I mean, he's talking to you now.
He is.
She said, I think he's such a funny little guy. But he's talking.
Well, yeah, he's clever and curious, but he's a little bit of a game player. So he'll kind of, like I said, he'll sort of set a trap for you. But if you start falling for it, or if he sees that you're timid or sort of weak, it just won't be interesting for him.
He can see it. But he does have a good sense of humor.
He does.
He's pretty funny.
He's funny, but when it's time to be funny, like, you better be funny. Get what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Like if it's
he
time,
sets the bar up high.
yeah. Like if it's time to play in a funny way and be funny, then you better be funny.
Well, now when you ask him questions, do you want this? Like you expect yes or no, and he'll say, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do it.
Cal, you want to eat a snack? Okay.
It's hilarious.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Do you want to go for a walk? Okay. It's just like. All right.
It's funny.
She's here in 13 minutes.
Okay. I did want to say the ABA therapist.
Yo, you know what we should do?
What?
We should just stay in here and then like have the kids open the door and just have the lady come back in. Hey, we're doing a live podcast. Come here and sit down. I'll throw her a mic and she can sit on our bed.
Oh.
And we can just.
Yeah, we're in our room.
Yeah, and we could just talk to her.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's intimidating. Anyway, some of these therapists can be
Probably
with
the way to do it.
can
though.
be with your kid for a long time.
Yeah.
Like our ABA therapist can be with him until he's 21.
I think you hope so, though. That's
Yeah,
what you hope.
I know.
Because that means you got it right and it worked and there was a beneficial, friendship.
And that's what it turns into, a friendship. I mean,
Yeah.
But anyway, we were lucky to have Ashley for 2 years. Hopefully this girl's good. And if you're thinking about therapies, try them. And you can always, some of the therapy places you can just drop off. And I didn't know that. Like, I could just drop them off at this age, but you can.
Yeah, and you can also, like, the first time meeting, it doesn't have to be this way. We're just comfortable with therapy and different kind of therapists. Think about meeting, like, a babysitter for a first time. You've interviewed babysitters before at a Chick-fil-A.
Oh, yeah.
You've got, and just said, I just want to see, how you connect or how he connects, or at least I want you to meet him or something. You can do that. Like, the first time doesn't have to be therapy. The first time can be, hey, come and sit down and have a cup of coffee with me. And can I just tell you about my kid and you tell me about your experience with all of this? It doesn't have to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then from there, and if you don't ever want to talk to that person again, that's cool. That works.
Right.
And, you can have your wife along or your husband along and make it a family thing. Have the other kids there or not. Like, you have so much control over this. I just think this is such a bizarre type of thing where we just feel like we don't have control, but you have all the control when you get into this.
And it does let you have time to yourself to be able to take care of yourself.
Yeah. Well, you made
know?
a good point. So many times his ABA therapy is you're working out. Like, you're getting a hard workout in.
Well, just yesterday,
At your house.
Yeah. With Zeus.
Zeus
Fitness. Burpees.
Oh my God. He's the burpee king. But yeah, or meal prepping, because we have talked to other special needs parents and there are a lot of speed bumps out there, but you can make these speed bumps a lot bigger. Like, if your kid's in ABA therapy every day, you have time to get a workout in. You have time to meal prep healthy food. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have time to kind of plan out your week. Is it perfect? No, but you have the time to do it.
I mean, we have a big family. I mean, we're busy people. And I still manage to make sometimes 3 different meals at dinner time.
Yeah. It's chaotic.
3.
It moves you. But
because we eat low carb. Like, we're not eating potatoes and pasta and stuff.
Yeah.
So if the kids are having spaghetti, we're having something else.
Yeah, we do a lot of vegetables and anyway, we just try to be healthy because we've talked about it before in the podcast why, but it's just it's interesting to me. You can make the choice if your kid is in a day program like at a school or even has a lot of therapy at home. Look, the couch is there, Netflix is there. If you want to do that all day, fine. But you're making that choice while you're while your kid's in therapy or in school. You know what I mean? But you don't have to do that because that really is not productive. It's just not.
And his ABA therapist took him on a walk yesterday, and she walked by us working out on our driveway, and she said, "This is mommy and daddy's time."
Yeah.
And that's nice, and it is. We have to take care of ourselves because parenting is exhausting. But a special needs parent, I mean, you're beat at the end of the day.
Beat.
Yeah.
And part of being beat is thinking about the next day. Like,
exactly.
It's hard to, you know how like some parents are like, oh, my day's over and I'm just going to relax tonight and sit outside and enjoy a couple hours by myself. But then when you start thinking about special needs and you start getting that, I don't know what it is, but you start thinking about the next day and then your body just starts getting all charged up again.
Well, I mean, even thinking about how he's going to react to this extra therapist. I mean, is that going to throw off when I drop him off at school? I mean, I really try hard to not get anxious because it can be very overwhelming.
Yeah. I think, maybe trained ourselves to deal with the anxiety, but that doesn't mean it still doesn't affect you.
Oh, yeah.
We're not as aware, I don't think. But again, doing important things like, working out, eating healthy, also being super involved with the other kids in their sports. The other kids are so active. They actually really help us because they demand like activity, which makes it good for us because it just keeps us busy. But then, you have things to do in your life, your company and all the things that I do. And then we still try to get out to a beach bar once or twice a week to stay normal and sane and see the salt water.
Which is important. And we really make it a point to do that. But even going to the kids' games and stuff, I take him with me. I have to drive separate so I can be ready to go any minute.
Yep.
And I have to take a wagon and all this stuff to prepare for everything. So just preparing for that and bringing him is overwhelming. But it just makes you not be able to handle any more stress in your life. Like not be able to handle, but like you don't want extra stress in your life. You know what I mean? We try to avoid extra stress.
Try to.
Yes.
Try to. All right. We should probably make sure he's at least out of bed.
Yeah.
She's 6 minutes away.
I know. We got to go.
We're out. Tomorrow, did Melissa fire the new therapist on the spot? What was her immediate judgment? Did she overthink her based on her appearance, based on something she said, how she acted towards Cal? Or did it all go really good? And I'm sure it will. That'll be tomorrow's update.